Hey guys, welcome to this video. If you haven't seen any of my stuff before, this is Mothlight 888 and my name is Madison. Most of my videos are just me drawing, sometimes digitally, sometimes traditional, but in this video I am filling up a sketchbook page. Lately I finally have gotten back to drawing. I started a new job in January, which led to me working more with this company for the past 6 months, I think. We're in October now, so actually like about 7 months. And with that, like, I'm working outside, so it was a big transition for me to working like from being in college and having way more flexibility with my hours to actually being somewhere 40 hours a week, working outside, doing kind of heavy work. Not always, but always outside 40 hours a week, which during the summer, you can imagine that was very tiring in Georgia, where we've had our hottest summer, especially being in the city where it is hotter. With that being said, I really do like my job, and since I had like way more fulfillment, I think it led to me drawing a little bit less, and like I was also tired, obviously. But in school, I was less fulfilled. I think I reached to art more as an escape than I do now. So there's been a bit of a transition to using art as a different a medium for me to express myself and more so chill out versus like escape. It's not as much of a necessity in the way it was for like survival mentally, but it's more of a necessity for me to make sure I'm expressing myself, and I just like it as a medium to create. I've also had a couple of ideas, like story-wise, of how I would maybe make something similar to a comic, but not as like committed as a comic series would be. But like this is kind of an example or like practice of me creating characters that could interact in fun ways to tell a couple of fun stories. So as you can see, I'm drawing a couple. They don't really have a story. We could come up with something if that feels fun. But like I said, let's just practice creating some characters and having them be posed in different ways. Because as most people know that watch me, anatomy is something that I've practiced. But like I feel like every time I take a break, it's like I have to restart. But I think I hold on to most of the basics, but getting used to drawing characters and humans specifically is something that I'm like trying to warm up again. Sometimes I also have to remember that the anatomy is not always the most important part, honestly, in like telling a story. I think that it's, as far as like if you're doing a painting, you're worried about composition and how something is pieced together. I think that obviously composition is always important as far as like body language and stuff, if you're like doing more of a storybook type of piece. But I think that anatomy and the perfection of it all is less important when you could tell a story with stick figures, is what I'm saying. So I've been a bit particular in that with that skill of anatomy, but I think as far as what I'm trying to do, it's like it's important, but as long as I'm getting the feeling across, it's good enough, But that's also something that I really like about art, that it has different avenues where you can use like different parts of your brain, where you could be studying versus just expressing and doing free form stuff, like going from paint to pencil, which feels like going from something more maybe malleable, flexible, to something more rigid. In this video, I'm drawing in I don't know if I've done any videos actually in my old sketchbook, but I lost one that I really liked. I think it was like Electrum, and I could like use watercolor and stuff in it, but I had to get this new sketchbook in a pinch because I couldn't find it. Like I gave it low-key like a month and I still haven't seen it, which I do lose things pretty often. So I mean, I'm used to it, but usually my sketchbook I would keep at home, but lately I've like taken it to work, so I'm not sure if I left it at work or not. But This sketchbook, I mean, it's like fine. I do really like the size, and it's different from my other sketchbook. It was a square, so this one's like a rectangle, which, you know, made it interesting as far as... Sorry, my mother called me, but I was saying the rectangle makes it a little bit different, or like I got used to the square, so I was using that composition in my mind. But like this one feels good for characters, where I can do something, you know, the human body is obviously more of a rectangle than it is a square most of the time, so it's nice in that way. But I don't know if it's the pencil I'm using or what, but I don't love the way it immediately is like, I don't know, it feels like maybe my pencil could be too soft, but it like gets messy so easily. But like I was using a color erase pencil the other day, and that felt a little bit better, but that was after doing this. So here I'm just like filling in the rest of the page. I wanted to do an action scene where they're like camping, so I was like kind of vibing with that, like putting the moon, and I drew a little bird down here. So if you guys want to see, I will draw these characters at a campsite. But until then, that is all for this video. And thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.